Welcome back to another perfume video. I hope you're doing well. So today we are going to be talking all about perfumes which are perfect for the high heats. I really wanted to make this video because although I have just done my top summer perfume picks video, I realised looking back at that video that although those perfume picks are great for, you know, me in this climate here in Scotland, I did realise actually that quite a few of those would perhaps be a bit too much for those of you who live elsewhere in the world where it is much hotter than here. So those were my top summer picks, you know, just sort of for me, I suppose. Or, you know, if you're living in like a milder climate in general like I am. However, in today's video I did want to talk about some perfumes specifically suited to the high heat. So if I was on holiday somewhere very hot, or if it got really hot here, we are meant to be having a heat wave this weekend, then these are a few of the fragrances which I would definitely choose. Some of these are actually quite cooling. Some of these have a cooling effect about them, which is really quite nice for the summer, particularly on these really hot days. So without further ado, let's jump into today's video. Oh, I almost forgot to say, comment below your drink of choice as well. Today I just have some water because it's warm in here, and I had a coffee previously, but I've just got some water with me at the moment. So of course, get yourself comfortable, get yourself a drink and a snack, comment below your drink of choice. So today I actually have 10 fragrances here to share with you. I have a nice round number, 10. And first up today I wanted to show you Guerlain Sparkling Bouquet. Now, this is a really fantastic fragrance from the Guerlain range for the summer because it does have a very nice cooling pear note in here. So the pear notes in here, it's not your syrupy pear, it's not your overly sweet pear. It is a very authentic, realistic, almost like, yeah, a cooling sort of note in this fragrance. And aside from that, this fragrance is not as heavy as the original Guerlain, although it does retain that signature DNA in there, so your lavender and vanilla that is in this perfume, but overall it's just lifted quite a lot. It's lighter, it's not as heavy, it's not as powdery and things like that. So of course all of that lends itself very nicely to the high heat. Actually, I think this is a fantastic choice for the summertime, particularly in these warmer months or even hot months. I do think this would be a really nice perfume choice. It's got some peony in there, some jasmine I believe. It's just overall a bit lighter, you guys. It's not that heavy a perfume. It's so beautiful actually. I wore it earlier today out for coffee, and it is truly a lovely fragrance. It's quite sweet, but it's not overly sweet at all, I wouldn't say. Just such a beautiful kind of delicate, feminine, floral fragrance with some aromatic nuances to it. Your vanilla, things like that. I believe there's also sandalwood in here, which really appeals to me because I love sandalwood. And like I say, those fruity notes in here, they're just very authentic, they're not syrupy. Personally, for me, anything syrupy, for example, your Jean Paul Gaultier La Belle or your Dolce & Gabbana The Only One, so those kind of perfumes with a really syrupy pear note in there, I personally couldn't bear in the high heat. So anything above like 25 degrees, that kind of thing, I would find those perfumes actually unbearable. I mean, I'm not really a big fan, I'm not a fan at all of the La Belle anyway, but you get the idea. So anything too syrupy, anything too sweet, things like that, I cannot bear in the high heat. But this fragrance right here is a really nice option for you. Give it a try. I don't know if I'd blind buy it per se. Maybe if you already love the original Guerlain DNA and you enjoy fruity nuances and you like peony and things like that, just, you know, use your own judgment. It's relatively safe for blind buying, but in general it is of course better to actually like try before you buy. But this is certainly a really beautiful fragrance for the summertime. Spring and summer I think it would be fantastic, but particularly in the high heat I think this perfume really shines. So that is Guerlain Sparkling Bouquet. Next up today we have an absolutely fantastic fragrance, you guys. Now this is probably my number one pick from this list. Maybe I should have saved it to last, oh well. And that is Chloe Lowe. Now the reason I'm saying that this is possibly the best from this list is because it actually, to me, has a cooling effect. So this is a seriously aquatic fragrance. It smells as though you are in this enchanted sort of woodland and you've just approached a beautiful lake, like a crystal blue clear lake, and there's flower petals scattered over the top. That's what this fragrance actually transports me to, you guys. It's truly beautiful. It's very romantic as well. There's something extremely whimsical, romantic, delicate, feminine. All of those words come to mind when I smell this fragrance, just because of it's very tactile almost, because of how aquatic it is, if you know what I mean. You smell it and it really feels like watery florals, not in the sense of it being a watered down scent, but just in the way that it transports you to that crystal clear blue lake with those florals scattered over top, and just a very cooling, it's almost as though it's a hot summer day in that scene and you've gone to the lake for a dip, you know, you've gone swimming in the lake to cool off, and it's like this cool blue water just washing over you, and like the smell of those florals all around you, things like that. It's just truly beautiful. Now, I think the aquatic nature of this perfume would come from the lychee in here. Now, I do think there are other florals, maybe pear. Actually, I don't think there's pear, I can't remember, but there's definitely lychee, and I know lychee itself is a very like watery fruit. So I feel like that's probably the note that's giving it that really nice aquatic nature. But overall, you guys, I would say out of all of the ones I'm going to mention, actually, this is definitely the best for high heat. You know, if it's really, even, you know, if it's one of those days and you think it is just too hot for fragrance, it's just too hot for any kind of scent, you don't want to wear anything because it's too unbearably warm, I would still even wear this. Like, I would, because it almost has a cooling effect which kind of washes over you. It's very calming, very casual, very feminine, flirty, perfect for every day, and things like that. So that is the beautiful Chloé Lowe Eau de Toilette. Next up today we have another absolutely fantastic perfume which performs very well in the high heat, and it's not cloying at all, you guys, and that is Olympia from Paco Rabanne. Now, unfortunately, I'm just going to be honest with you, this is not for me. For some reason I don't love this. It almost has a slightly chemical smell to me. Well, maybe not chemical, but I think it's just that the very strong salty note in here is just not quite for me. I mean, it's quite nice, I don't know, sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't, I just don't know how I feel about it basically, you guys, so just bear that in mind when I'm talking about it. I think the place where I would really love to wear this perfume is like to the beach, because the actual salty seawater and the sand and things like that, I feel like it would just blend so beautifully with this scent because it's almost salty like the sea and things like that. I think it would be beautiful to wear to the beach, to the seaside, and you know, those kind of scenarios, but other than that I don't really know if this perfume is like for me. But having said that, it is just a fantastic perfume for the high heat. It's really not too cloying. It is kind of summer in a bottle. Like, to me this perfume is exclusively a summer scent. Many of you might disagree with me. Actually, let me know in the comments what you think. Like, do you think this is an all year round perfume, or do you also think that it's kind of like a summer perfume? For some reason, to me, this is just summer in a bottle. I think because of the salty note, it just reminds me of like beaches, the sun on the sand and things like that. It almost kind of reminds me of sand. But anyway, it's a perfect fragrance for summer, particularly in the high heat. I think this would be a fantastic perfume choice. So that is Paco Rabanne Olympia, a really nice salty vanilla fragrance. Next up today we have this beauty here, Sofia by Sofia Vergara. Now, I talk about this one a lot on my channel, you guys, and I was thinking, when I was thinking about which fragrances to feature in this video, for some reason this one didn't like immediately come to mind, but then when I saw it sitting on my shelf, I actually thought it would be perfect, because it is the kind of perfume which is not too cloying, it's not too sharp, it's almost like, to me, this is like a smoother, creamier, easier to wear version of Coco Mademoiselle. Now, Coco Mademoiselle I would never wear in any kind of warm weather because it would be too like engulfing to me, it would be far too strong. But this one, on the other hand, this one is a bit more toned down, it's a bit more easygoing, it's not as potent in a good way, and I do think that it would be a really nice option for the high heat. It's definitely not cloying, you guys, it's a nice soft kind of delicate scent that you just sort of get wafts of throughout the day, and it's not it's not overpowering at all. So I think for all of those reasons it would just be fantastic for the high heat, and it's just a beautiful, affordable fragrance that smells very classy to me, and I just absolutely love it. So that is the beautiful Sofia by Sofia Vergara. Okay, speaking of the high heat, it's time to put my fan on, you guys, because it is so warm in here, seriously. Okay, so that's that one there. Next up today we have a fragrance from the house of Jean Paul Gaultier, and that is Scandal à Paris. Now this fragrance is really nice. I think it's an eau de toilette concentration, or is it eau de parfum? No, I think it is eau de parfum actually, but overall this is kind of a lighter scent. So you've got your signature kind of honey in here, and you've got your pear, basically. Those are the two main things I smell. It's quite fruity, it's not as dense, and it's not as heavy as the original Scandal, so that's why I think that it would lend itself very nicely to the warmer weather. I think as long as you don't spray too much, so I wouldn't like spray too much of this fragrance because it is still quite strong, as you would expect from the Scandal range. You know, they're not weak scents at all, you guys. So I would just be wary of how much you're spraying of this perfume. Probably like 2-3 sprays and you'd be like more than good to go, if you know what I mean. But it's really, really nice. It kind of reminds me of like apple juice or pear juice. If you enjoy really juicy, fruity scents and you like pear and apples, then I don't think you'd be disappointed with this one. Do bear in mind though, you do have to enjoy really sweet fragrances to enjoy this one. It's very sweet from the honey notes and from the pear actually. They both give it a really rich sweetness. So that is Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal à Paris. Next up today we have the beautiful Mugler Aura Eau Sensuelle, which comes in this absolutely beautiful, whimsical, gorgeous bottle that's kind of iridescent looking, very enchanting, and I absolutely love the bottle, you guys. It's so sweet, and I think the look of this bottle correlates very nicely to how it actually smells, because if you remember the original Mugler Aura bottle, it's that really rich, thick, dark, intense green emerald sort of colour, and that sort of echoes the very intense smell. But this one, it's a lighter, more easygoing sort of bottle, and the scent itself is lighter and more easygoing as well, I would say. So this fragrance reminds me of marshmallows which have been infused with matcha tea. This fragrance is just so amazing, you guys. It's kind of plant-like, but it's quite pillowy soft, it's quite sweet, it's got your sandalwood note in there. I believe there's some gardenia in here as well, and there's some sort of plant note. I can't really remember what it is exactly. I'll try and find out and I'll put it up on the screen, but there's like a green plant note in here, giving it quite a refreshing green nature. It's really beautiful, and definitely out of the two auras, I would say this is the one I would wear in the high heat. The original aura is very, very thick, it's very like strong, it's a very powerful fragrance, and I don't really think I'd be reaching for that one so much in the summer because of how intense it is. This one on the other hand I think would be perfect if you enjoy sweet fragrances, if you like green notes, and if you enjoy scents reminiscent of a marshmallow, then I think you would really enjoy this one. That is the beautiful Mugler Aura Eau Sensuelle. Next up today we have the lovely Hugo Boss The Scent for Her Private Accord. Now, out of all of my Gourmand fragrances, you guys, I would say this is the best Gourmand scent for the high heat, because it's not that strong. The longevity and the projection are not like that good with this perfume, which, you know, in general I would say that's like a bad thing, but actually in this case it's quite a good thing, because it's not going to be choking you out, it's not going to be overpowering, it's not going to be too strong and things like that. So actually for the high heat, this kind of Gourmand scent would be ideal. This is your really nice powdered cocoa kind of smell with the scent of kind of waxy orange peel in here. So the orange note that's in this fragrance, it's not at all juicy, it's not like a juicy orange that I'm smelling in here, it's more of like the orange, the outside of the orange peel, if you know what I mean. Almost like a slightly bitter orange, really complementing those kind of chocolatey notes that you get in here. There's also a little note of coffee, which I don't directly get, but I think I kind of get it in the sense of it tempering with sweetness, so it kind of stops this fragrance from being too sweet as well. Sort of like a bitter coffee note. sort of just lingering there in the background very subtly, and overall this is a beautiful Gourmand fragrance which I would really recommend for the heats, for summertime in general. Like if you're kind of craving a Gourmand fragrance but you don't want to wear one because you're worried that it'll be too cloying and too much in the warm weather, have no fear, because this fragrance right here is actually ideal because it's not too strong, it's not too overpowering like I say, and it's just a fantastic summer Gourmand fragrance. So that is Hugo Boss, the scent for her, Private Accord. Next up today we have the beautiful Armani Code. Now I love this fragrance, it's so nice, very kind of orangey, orange blossom, bitter orange. I believe there's neroli in here, there's jasmine, there's tonka bean, there might even be some vanilla I think. Quite powdery and very beautiful indeed. It reminds me of a kind of really girly feminine shampoo, like freshly washed hair, that kind of thing. It's really very nice. Originally I didn't think that this would be a good fragrance for the high heat because I thought it would be too thick and cloying, but it's actually not as strong as I remember. So I tried a tester months ago and I remember it being quite a thick powdery fragrance, but actually it's not really like that. Just like a sweet orangey floral, slightly powdery shampoo kind of smell, and it's really feminine, really beautiful, flirty, and I do think that you could wear this in the summer for sure. If it's like a really hot day, then maybe just don't be so heavy-handed with this, maybe just like a couple of sprays and you'd be good to go. I wouldn't like spray too much because it might get a little bit cloying. But aside from that, I think this would be a truly fantastic choice of fragrance for the summer and for the high heat, so that is Armani Code. Next we have Giorgio Armani My Way. Now this is a really nice, bright, uplifting fragrance, you guys. It's really flirty, feminine, kind of uplifting, inspiring, motivating, all of those things. Kind of positivity in a bottle, really. It's got that very bright, effervescent, cheerful kind of quality to it, which is really lovely. And I would say this would be really nice for the high heat as long as you don't spray too much. So actually this is a very strong fragrance to me. If you spray quite a lot of it, it is quite a strong perfume. So if you're going to wear this on a really hot day, then I would probably just limit it to a couple of sprays, maybe not even like directly on your skin. I would maybe just mist it in the air and kind of walk through or something like that, and then maybe do another one kind of in front as a light misting of the scent, and then you would be good to go. I think it would be really stunning actually. I just wouldn't spray like too much of it because it's not weak, it's quite a substantial fragrance, I would say. And if you sprayed too much, I can see this being a little bit cloying. But as long as you spray with caution, I can see this being a truly beautiful scent for the summer and for the high heat. So that is Giorgio Armani My Way. And last up today we have another fragrance from the Mon Guerlain line, and that is Mon Guerlain Eau de Toilette. Now this fragrance is a more translucent version of the original. It doesn't have that rose note in there, that's been removed. It's more citrusy. I believe there's like a violet note in here. And it's just overall very light. It's a much more easygoing, casual version of Mon Guerlain. I mean, I think Mon Guerlain itself, like the original one, it's quite casual and easygoing as well, and it's very versatile, but this one, it's almost like just very light and citrusy and airy, if you know what I mean. It's kind of just like a thinner version of it, like a thin veil of a scent, which I think would be fantastic for the high heat. It's really not too strong. I mean, it has good lasting power and it has a nice projection and everything like that, this fragrance here, but it's just not going to be cloying, it's not going to be too much, and I do think that it would be a really fantastic option for a scent for the high heat, without a doubt. For some reason, you guys, I've not been loving this one. I do recommend it to you and I do think it's a good perfume, but I can see this being decluttered. For some reason I just don't reach for it. It doesn't really inspire me, like I don't love it anymore. But with that being said, I would still recommend it to you, especially if you're looking for a classy, elegant scent for the really high heat. It is a truly beautiful fragrance. I just don't think, I don't know, you guys, I've just not been reaching for it that often, and I can see it leaving my collection in the near future. But again, with that being said, it's still a lovely fragrance and I would recommend it. So that is the beautiful Mon Guerlain Eau de Toilette from the House of Guerlain. Hey, thank you so much for watching today. I truly appreciate it. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what your favourite fragrances are for the high heat. Let me know what you think of my wee list today. Thank you so very much for watching. I truly appreciate you and I will see you on the next video. Bye!